Do we have anybody else joining us?
So you currently have Alex, Mark, Rick, and yourself from commission, and then Counselor Scott is here.
All right, we're gonna call to order the City of Sherwood Planning Commission meeting for April 28th. That's not right.
May 26th.
May have the wrong agenda then. Roll call. I guess I'll take the roll call. Commissioner Widola?
Present.
Commissioner Brown?
Present.
Commissioner Cottle?
Here.
Commissioner Simpson, and I'm here. On the consent agenda is the April 28th Planning Commission meeting minutes. Did everybody get a copy of those emailed to them?
Yes.
I did.
All right. Do we have a motion?
After you make your changes.
Okay, are there, I don't have any changes to the consent. What? Does anybody have any corrections or additions to the consent agenda?
I
No.
move we consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda. All in favor? We'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner Widola?
Yes.
Commissioner Cottle?
Yeah.
Commissioner Brown?
Yep.
And Commissioner Simpson, aye. All right, motion carried. Council liaison announcements. We have Counselor Scott for our council liaison this evening.
Hello. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, good. Not a whole lot. Biggest thing is budget committee. So the budget committee, which includes 7 citizen members as well as the 7 council members, met last Thursday for our first annual budget committee meeting. Basically, we reviewed the proposed budget. Department by department had a chance to offer any details. Just a second, hold up. Sorry about that. On another call. So we went through department by department the proposed budget, had a chance to answer any questions. That was streamed live on YouTube. I believe it's probably still available for anyone who wants to watch that. Our second budget committee meeting will be this Thursday at 6 p.m. And we're hoping for that to be the final budget committee meeting, but it's possible it could carry into a third. But again, that will be live on YouTube as well. And written testimony must be submitted 24 hours in advance.
Excellent. Is that any other announcements? Oh, we may have lost.
No, that's it.
All right. Okay, then we're moving on. Staff announcements. Erica?
Yes. Hi, everyone. So I just have a couple announcements this evening. Next Tuesday, June 2nd, Planning Commission and City Council will have a joint work session on the third theme of the comprehensive plan, which is strategic and collaborative governance. You're going to be reviewing the final draft goals and policy document. I sent out a packet of information last Friday, so hopefully you can read that this week so everyone is prepared for our discussion next Tuesday. And I'll be sending out the details about how you can log in online for that work session next Tuesday evening. Our next Planning Commission meeting is on June 9th. We have 2 public hearings that night. We have a public hearing scheduled for the hotels as a conditional use in the in the industrial zone. And we also have the continuance of the public hearing that is scheduled for tonight on that date as well. I also want to let you know that the Community Advisory Committee for the Comprehensive Plan, we're having a short little half-hour meeting tomorrow night to talk about our public engagement activities for our next theme area for the plan, which is housing. And we have a lot on our plate for our public engagement activities due to the times that we're in with COVID-19. And we just want to make sure that, you know, we are really reaching out to all of the stakeholders in the Sherwood community. I think that's all I have.
All right, excellent, thank you. It does call for any community comments. Were any community comments submitted prior to the meeting?
There were none.
Okay, then we'll go on to new business. New business is our public hearing. The public hearing on case file LU 2020-001 SP CUP VAR SUB Tualatin Sherwood or TS Corporate Center is called to order. The public hearing this evening will be conducted as follows. Staff will present the staff report, questions by the hearing body for staff. We will then open the public hearing for testimony, and time will be limited as usual. We will then close the public hearing, final comments by staff, questions of staff, if any, by the commission, and discussion by the commission. A decision may be made by the Planning Commission at the close of the hearing, or the matter may be continued to a time and date certain. If the matter is continued to a date certain, this will be the only notice of that date you receive. If you wish to speak, please fill out one of the testimony forms and submit it to the Planning Commission. The chair will recognize people who wish to speak, and any questions should be addressed through the chair. In reaching a decision on the application, the commission must consider whether the application meets the relevant approval criteria in the city's land use regulations. Those criteria are identified in the staff report. There are 2 copies of the staff report available in the room this evening. The testimony and evidence must address these criteria or other criteria you believe to apply to the decision. Please note, failure to raise an issue with enough detail to enable the commission, the applicant, and the parties an opportunity to respond to the issues precludes an appeal to the City Council or Land Use Board of Appeals on that issue. Also, failure by the applicant to raise constitutional or other issues regarding proposed conditions of approval, again with enough detail to allow the commission to respond to the issue, precludes an action for damages in circuit courts. And on this matter, we are going to be the final authority with appeal to City Council, correct?
Correct.
All right. At this time, I would like to ask members of the commission to disclose any ex parte contacts, bias, or conflicts of interest. Please indicate the nature and extent of the ex parte contact, bias, or conflict of interest, and indicate whether you intend to participate in or abstain from the hearing. To ensure that we still have a quorum, I'd like to ask each member to respond with a present at this time before we proceed, and indicate any bias, conflict, or ex parte contact. Commissioner Wydola?
Present and none of the above.
Commissioner Cottle?
Present, none of the above.
Commissioner Brown?
Present and none of the above.
I am still present, and I have none of the above. And as we do not have an audience, we will just announce if they wish to challenge any planning commissioner members' ability to participate, we'll have to facilitate at the next meeting. All right, so the planning staff will now make their announcement.
So this evening, the applicant has requested a continuance to a date certain, which is our next planning commission meeting, which is June 9th. At this time, they haven't told the 120 days. However, the 120 day expires on August 11th.
All right. Do we have a motion to continue this hearing to the date certain of June 9th, 2020?
I so move.
I second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we continue LU 2020-01 SP CUP VAR SUB for the TS Corporate Center to June 9th, 2020. Again, a roll call vote. In favor or A or yes, and opposed no. Commissioner Widola,
Yes.
Commissioner Cottle,
Yeah.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
and I vote yes also. Motion approved. This will be continued to June 9th. All right, any other planning commissioner announcements this evening? Oh, before we go on, I'm sorry, would staff announce at this time for the public to hear if they want to testify or provide any information, how would they do that prior to our next hearing with the COVID-19 situation in place?
Yes, Chair Simpson, thanks for bringing that up. So we are requesting that the public submit 24 hours in advance from the hearing, and they can submit those either electronically to Joy Chang, Senior Planner, and her email address, Chang, CHANG, J, after the G for Joy, at sherwoodoregon.gov. Or the comments can be sent in via regular post mail.
And you just have to receive it 24 hours in advance, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. So moving on now to planning commissioner announcements. Are there any other announcements before we go forward?
Hey, this is Rick White. I have a quick question. If anybody has any history on community participation organizations for Washington County, the CPO5 that represents Tualatin and Sherwood area, is anybody, the reason I ask is my short year on the Planning Commission, the largest group of people we have show up are citizens concerned about roads that are not within our jurisdiction, they're county roads. And so it seems like these CPOs would be a good opportunity for citizens to participate, to provide their feedback to the county. And when I looked into it, it is an inactive CPO. So I was just curious with the experience on the commission, if anybody has any history there.
It's been inactive as long as I've been in Sherwood. 30 years.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I moved from unincorporated Washington County to the city of Sherwood, and CPO5 at that time was inactive. The coordinator through OSU tried to get me to help get interest in it, and there was very limited interaction with the residents of Sherwood or Tualatin because they had, it's just like everything else, too many other things going on and not a lot of interest to keep the CPO going.
We're essentially, us and Tualatin, the city councils and the planning commissions are the de facto, because they come complain to us, we write a letter to the county ignores us, and that's the way it works.
So you looked at it and saw that OSU runs that, and it's just inactive, right?
No, so far I haven't gotten that far. I've reached out to a few people at the county and the admin office, and they're putting me in touch with the person who runs it, who seems to be a county employee now. And so I haven't heard back from them yet, but that was just last week, so I'll let you know.
Okay.
Thank you for the feedback, everyone.
If I can get my old contact information, I'll get that to you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other announcements or concerns? All right. Do we need to make a motion to adjourn? I think business being connected. Okay, go ahead.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah. We're out of here. Thank you.